The coronavirus crisis is a situation unlike anything this country has faced in living memory.
We've been through a lot of difficulty, a lot of uncertainty, a lack of social interaction. The reality is life is challenging.
There are some things that are more important than football.
If the people cannot watch the games, there's no sense.
It's the biggest crisis that football faced in history.
I've always seen football as something completely unique in the way that it brings so many people together.
2020 was so awful. That's had such a huge impact on everyone, and everyone's lives have been so different.
But finally, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. The Euros are back on this summer, and it feels like for the first time we've got reason to be optimistic. I'd go so far as to say that the summer of 2018 was the best of my life. And that is largely down to what England manager Gareth Southgate and his team did. At the World Cup in Russia, he became the waistcoat-wearing hero of the nation by leading his young England team to the semi-finals. They even named a tube station after him.
We hadn't won a knockout game for 10 years, and we needed to overcome that.
Yes! It was an incredible turnaround from 22 years previously.
Andy Kopka saves it!
I wanted to get off that pitch as quickly as possible.
I'm Chris, a YouTube creator, and my channel is built on my passion for football. I've been fortunate enough to meet some of the greats of the game, and this time it's really close to heart. This is the England manager, the man with one of the biggest jobs in world football. I want to find out how he went from such a massive low to an incredible high, and discover what he has learnt along the way.
I had to realise that this is a highly competitive world, and if this is what I want to do, then I have got to get better.
He says that he was very introverted, and so it's an interesting journey for an introvert.
But Gareth's passion extends beyond just the top of the game. He cares about what's happening at all levels of football, and so through myself and 3 fellow YouTube creators, Yung Filly, SV2 and StuntPegg, he's going to connect with football's grassroots and tackle 3 key questions. Can the game help the nation's mental health? Is football racially inclusive? And is football still a man's game? And then we're going to be tackling each other in an epic match under the lights and Gareth's gaze at St George's Park.
Now we'll see if you can handle the pressure.
The Euros are almost upon us. It's time to raise the game. Myself, the other creators, and the guys taking on these issues with us are on the way to St George's Park. It is the state-of-the-art training ground which is the home to England's national teams. It's where Gareth and his squad will prepare for the Euros. But the first question on everyone's lips is which players will be in.
Grealish has to start for me, as a 10.
Not start in the middle.
Sancho, taking Sancho.
Sancho, boys! We didn't mention Greenwood.
No.
We don't need.
What's going on here?
No, this is going south now.
You're not taking Greenwood.
I don't think I'll take it on. It's recent form, not really. He said, would you start him on FIFA? And I said, that's not the point. Yeah, it is.
Hey, look, we're at St George's Park.
Yes.
Let's go! Oh my gosh, this is sick. St George's Park! Oh my God.
Good to see you all. Welcome to St George's Park, home of English football. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all, hearing all your stories.
This incredible facility is the beating heart of English football. It's where Gareth and his team are putting their plans in place to win the Euros.
We've got to learn how to win, and we've got to learn how to win those big games consistently. We've started to beat some of the top teams sporadically over the last couple of years. We've got to do it more consistently if we want to win tournaments.
Winning tournaments at senior level is something England have only ever done once, and Gareth knows the heartbreak of missing out all too well. In the summer of 1996, just 6 months after making his full England debut, he was an ever-present in the England team that took on the best of Europe at Euro '96.
Although I always loved club football, if ever anybody asked me when I was a kid what was my ambition, it would have been to play for England. That's the pinnacle, and you see the shirt and the badge and Wembley, this iconic venue.
Playing for England was the one real ambition and goal I had.
And I remember when I got the call, travelling to the team hotel, and all your training kit was in your room.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember just standing in front of the mirror and pulling it on and having the 3 lines there and just looking at it. Yeah. You know, whenever I pull that top on, it still feels the same, even though I've been fortunate to do it a number of times as a player and then as a manager. You still, that pride of representing the whole nation is massive.
Euro 96 has arrived, the biggest football event in England since 1966. 16 teams, Europe's finest players, only one winner.
From what my dad always tells me, the feeling around the nation was like it was in 2018.
Tournament at home and the excitement of hosting a tournament, big nations playing, and then every England game at Wembley, which was an amazing atmosphere. We didn't play particularly well at the start of it, but we then managed to beat Scotland. We had a really good game against Holland, and all of a sudden the belief that we could win was coming.
Semi-final we come. We're going to win the cup.
It's the biggest match this country has seen in almost 30 years. England versus Germany for a place in the final. With the scores level after extra time, it's penalties. 10 taken, 10 scored. We go to sudden death, and bravely stepping up is a 25-year-old called Gareth Southgate. And Kickabout saves it! Heartbreak for England, and for one Englishman in particular.
I just know that I wanted to get off that pitch as quickly as possible. I remember some of our players sort of dragging me around the pitch because we were going on a lap of honour at the end of the tournament, if you like, but hard to really remember much detail about what people said. But I suppose you look back and you see pictures and it stimulates sort of memories in the background. Being the person who's missed the penalty that knocks you out. All the eyes are focused on you, and normally it's a team sport, but you know that you're the focus.
Someone said to me a long while ago, what doesn't destroy you completely only makes you stronger.
The brain is wired towards the negative, and people's lives become very complicated.
Can football help the nation's mental health?
Yeah, man, it's your boy Yung Filly, and I am just as excited as you are.
Question numero uno. What has a heart but no other organs?
A heart.
Wow. Do you know how crazy my movement off the ball is, fam?
Do you know what I rate myself? I said,
my career was I always say it was a fluke. Like, I didn't ask for this. I was just telling videos to make my friends laugh.
Yeah, man!
You get some of the next.
It just went so big that I kind of had to be this person. I'm an enthusiastic, energetic, honest presenter. Sometimes I say stuff that might not sound nice.
You're just as dumb as him, that's why you're not in the video.
And it's not to be rude or spiteful, it's just honest.
Man went, yeah, man, and that is a wrap.
You know, just watching my stuff, you wouldn't think I'm the sort of guy that can have anxiety or some sort of like mental health issue. And I felt like it was important for me to share that. Because at the time that I tweeted it, I was in a place where I felt like I had anxiety at that exact time. It was far away from home. And yeah, I remember we were just getting swarmed in the middle of nowhere. There's like 400 people outside our hotel room. It's like 4 a.m. and there's kids on the roads like screaming our names, and all these things start rushing through your head. Can't even eat your food in peace. Can't sleep. Yeah, man, that experience was horrible.
To have those feelings of insecurity and doubt and anxiety is perfectly normal. So people shouldn't feel that they're inadequate or they're the only ones feeling the way they do.
I think it's important that you have people around you who make you comfortable talking to them.
Yung Filly's going to meet up with a couple of guys who believe that football can help not just with your body, but with your mind, and set up a club to promote good mental health.
I'm very interested to hear what his experience has been, how it led him down the road to therapy, and what he thinks about the topic really going forward.
Yes, man, Dem.
How's it going?
Going on, you good? Let me get a touch then. I know you lot saw what I've done at Soccer 8.
We're expecting big things.
Don't put pressure on me, bro. So FC Not Alone, did it all start with you discovering your anxiety and depression in Spain?
Yeah, of course. I think that was probably, when we think about a starting point, that's where it was, but it was only once I'd recovered and I got better, and that's a long process because You can go through years, really, with the anxiety building and tipping into depression. So this is a problem in the UK, and there's not enough being done, really. And so we want to do our little bit.
We deliberately put it in football branding to, like, gateway this conversation through football, because football's traditionally like an alpha male kind of thing. At that point, I hadn't seen many people often speaking about it.
One of the best ways to help people is to be there to support and to listen. And one of the best ways to come through those difficulties is to talk.
Yeah, the nation needs to be back kicking the ball after what we've got
Getting
through.
to know people, talking to people again.
Sports is a beautiful thing, innit?
Mate, think
brings
about...
people together, bruv. I was saying this to my mum the other day, bruv.
I feel like the World Cup is the best example for that. Yeah, bro. Thank God for football.
There's no question that we went into that tournament with less expectation. We hadn't won a knockout game for 10 years.
And so supporting the England national team had just become a thing that you sort of dread.
We hadn't won a penalty shootout since '96. We needed to overcome that.
So that's why I think the World Cup really changed that, because this tournament we had obviously the Kane winner in the last minute, and then the second one we absolutely smashed them.
Colombian first before I'm English. And I remember I was the only one in like that whole pub rooting for Colombia and everyone was rooting for England. So I wanted Colombia to beat England in that penalty shootout and it didn't quite happen.
Uribe. Oh, hits the underside of the crossbar! Eric Dyer for England. Yes!
You just remember Southgate, instead of going to all the England team doing a pile-on, going up to Uribe, who missed the penalty for Colombia.
Gareth obviously thought he had to do that because he knows how it made him feel as a person when he missed, and he just felt like he needed to give him a helping hand or even a shoulder just to lean on, even if it was for a few seconds. And sometimes that's what you need, you know?
There's a way to win and a way to lose, and you've got to accept winning in the right way. At a moment like that where I knew what that young lad was going through, part of what makes sport brilliant is that combative nature of the game, but then the camaraderie that surrounds it.
It is great having someone like Gareth who pushes those values and clearly respects those values so much. It's the right time to have someone who can bring the country together.
You know, I was always brought up and told that throughout your career, respect the game. It's an important thing. And equally, because of the profile of the game, some players have been able to affect causes that are even bigger than the game. I think we're starting to see that players recognise the power of their own voice, and that can be a force for good and a force for change, and I think that's a huge positive.
I just feel like a lot more people need to be doing what the boys are doing, man. This is a serious matter, bro. This ain't something that two guys can just fix. They can definitely help towards it. God bless their souls, you get what I'm saying? But this is a national issue, bro. Like, this is a world, like, same way we're all looking at this COVID thing, like, mental health should be spoke about like that. I think it's amazing what they're doing, but I just wish the government had that same energy that them two had.
Filly and the boys have got together with Gareth at St George's Park and are keen to hear how he deals with the pressure of his job. One of the most scrutinised in world football.
When picking a squad and the subsequent feedback that comes at the back of it, how do you keep your head and how do you stay confident within your decisions?
A few years ago, I didn't want the job for that reason, because I saw what it did to previous managers and their families. So when my kids were younger, I didn't want them to experience that.
You're your own reference point. What was the point for you where you started to realise, actually, I need to maybe seek therapy?
I had a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I was crying in front of my best friend, Chunks. And, yeah, man, I didn't like the feeling. That feeling was horrible. Sorry. And then, yeah, I just realised I needed to do something about it.
What you've all done with the discussion you had before and that openness, you'd be amazed how many people will look at that and it'll really affect them in a positive way.
Yeah,
England managers talking about mental health, it's inspirational.
I think your legacy for England as a country and English football is kind of creating that open conversation.
It's so important that we're able to listen and not judge, and that's how I suppose we help people who might be suffering, because sometimes they just want to be listened to. Sometimes we might be able to point them in a direction that can help them, but I think we need that openness to allow people to speak.
I think there's sort of two sides of it. Like, the one side is how much of a difference there's been not having football every week. Because football in itself, it's just one of those things that you totally focus on, and it's like an escape for your sort of mental space. I love it because if there's anything worrying me throughout the day or I've got something on my mind, you can go play football for an hour and not think about anything else. I think it's been really eye-opening how not having that, it's a big thing. I'm very much looking forward to it coming back.
Gareth is no stranger to anxiety and shyness.
Yeah, I wasn't a particularly confident young player. I knew I had some ability, but I didn't know how that compared to everybody else.
Despite his lack of confidence, his dream was to become a footballer, and he started here at Selsdon Junior Football Club in South London.
About 20 miles from here, I lived in a place called Crawley, which is right near to Gatwick, and then I came up and played in this league up here when I was under 13s.
Oh, wow.
So I wasn't at school with the other lads, and having to sort of fit in with the group, you had to prove yourself on the pitch.
It's quite nice in a way that you can prove yourself to a group, though.
Yeah.
Literally just by your ability.
It's a meritocracy in the dressing room. If you're good, you're accepted.
Yeah.
But is football always a meritocracy, or do some people not get the chance to show just how good they are? Is football racially inclusive?
His name starts with a S and ends with a V2. Make sure you like and subscribe, it's for free.
What is the worst football boot right now? Guys, I can't lie, my feet were burning. They were on fire. You want to do this?
Just like Gareth, YouTube creator SV2 dreamt of becoming a footballer.
He's my skills, that's it.
Move the goalie. Yes! Me and football's been a passion. Got into football from my big brother, always used to play with a little sock ball. After match today, I remember it vividly. From a young age, I was very, very good at football. I got a lot of trials, and one of the main ones was actually Fulham. Stayed there for around 2 to 3 weeks, but obviously it was very hard because of travelling for my parents, coming back and forth from work every single day. It was very tough for them. With football, that is something I love, and that's why I do it on YouTube. And I didn't really see it as an end goal, I think, from the age of 14, from when I started to get a knee injury. I kind of said to myself, like, I'm gonna have to have like a backup plan. And yeah, that's really it. I was in college, that's when my channel took off. So 100k views, 200k views, 300k views are going up and up and up, and then I started to build my audience from then.
But I carried on playing football for fun, and wherever I played, at whatever club, there were a lot of black players and white players, but very few Asian players.
Played for a club 2 years ago, and there was a player that I used to play with, he was a right back, and he was Asian as well, and he expressed that same opinion, that there is a lack of Asian players in professional football.
The new football season has kicked off, but amid all the excitement, an old issue remains unresolved. The lack of British Asian players playing at the top level.
So is it harder for some kids to make the dream of becoming a footballer a reality? SV2 is off to Wolverhampton to meet someone for whom becoming a professional is statistically more difficult than most.
Hello, Cameron. I'm going to be in Wolves later on today, innit? I've got a few things that I want to do, a few little challenges to see if you're an actual baller.
Okay, sounds good.
17-year-old Cameron Candola is an apprentice with Wolverhampton Wanderers.
So I heard, yeah, that you've been with Wolves since young, very young.
Like 10
Tell me
years
like
almost.
10 years? Dang. What? Tell me the process, because obviously with me, yeah, back when I was playing, I was at academies as well, but obviously I was trialing. Like, of course you have the physical stuff as well, but mentally as well. How do you say you kind of deal with that?
I think you've just got to kind of remember the sacrifice and remember why you're doing it, because that's the main thing, is just keep going when the times get tough, because it will get tough.
Ready. Hey, you know this is big for me. He's going to be a future pro, you know. Let me show him what a YouTuber can do. Been doing 7-a-side, and with that, I find it so fun to do with your friends.
There's nothing that beats 5-a-side, 7-a-side.
Bro, trust me, just play with your friends.
Yeah.
It's actually the best. Hold on, let me take this one.
That would have been the best one. That would have been the best one. That would have been the best one.
What would you say you're doing for the Asian community? Because I can't lie, what I've got is that there's not a lot of Asian football players. Like,
yeah, no.
There's a few, but not a lot.
Definitely. I think it's just mainly kind of giving them someone to look up to and showing them that it is possible.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they'll be thinking and looking and like seeing not that many role models, or thinking about, oh, is there anything against us? But I think it's just changing their like kind of negative mindset of being, oh, we kind of set back, and turning it more positive, kind of thinking, oh yeah, we can do that. Like, there's nothing stopping us.
Even without the additional challenges Cameron faces, becoming a professional footballer is hard enough as it is, as Gareth knows full well.
The process of surviving the cut-off of different selections at different ages hardens you, and you realise that to survive in the professional game is almost an achievement in itself. To actually get to the top is so difficult, and people would say sacrifices, but maybe choices is a better word, of that commitment to living your life in the right way that gives you the best chance to succeed. I struggled a lot at the start. It wasn't just for fun anymore, it was your job. I was dropped from the youth team. You'd have that realisation, if this is what I really want to do, then I've got to step up. We all get rejected, and you either allow that to define you or you bounce back.
Their young debutant, Gareth Southgate.
In football, like a lot of sports, you've got to mature at a very young age and very quickly. By that point, your family can't necessarily help you. They don't understand the world that you've gone into. I had to realise that this is a man's world. It's highly competitive, and if this is what I want to do, then I have got to get better.
Southgate, stupidly Keane goes in. There's the flick for the
As we started to succeed as a team, I gained in confidence.
Ronaldo, how will he take on Southgate? That's a good challenge, perfectly timed.
You know, if you keep playing well, then you've got people's respect anyway.
Southgate could get a second hook. He's driven in a beauty. Southgate hit well. Another special from him.
I've talked to quite a number of Asian people about the underrepresentation in football. I can't speak as an expert because I haven't grown up in their community and with their experiences, so we've got to make sure that at every level of the game is accessible, because we're missing out on talent. We're missing out on young people from different communities having a great opportunity in life.
Riz Raymond is from the Professional Footballers Association. He's involved in a scheme that's being proactive about the issue of Asian inclusion.
My work is like helping young players when they come out the game, helping to education. Another big part of it is this new Asian inclusion mentoring scheme. Cam did a talk a few months back to the boys and girls actually, and they really enjoyed it as well. Took a lot away from it.
If I can help other younger kids kind of make it through as well, it's just even more beneficial.
And I think it makes them proud as well to see other young players like
representing
who they can connect to. And again, when you talk about Asians in football, the focus has always been on the negative, but it's important that we highlight role models like Cam and a few of the others who've been there, done it, and now we're sort of giving that helping hand.
Now there are more young Asian people playing than ever before, and we're starting to see some players come through the professional academies. We need some role models coming through that are going to show people that it's possible.
This is the dream for you, innit? This is the kind of like...
This is the one.
I won't even say the end goal, but this is one of the main dreams. I see you on the pitch. I see you on the pitch, man.
Hopefully.
At St George's Park, the boys want to find out if Gareth thinks we're getting closer to seeing an Asian player play for the full England team.
Before I met Cameron, I didn't really see it like that, but then once he spoke about it more, I think, okay, what Asian players are there actually that are kind of like big on that scale, even like playing into the national team or England's national team, and there's actually not a lot.
In the junior teams in last year's Issa, Suleiman, Hamza, Chowdhury, but not a high number of Asian players.
What we're trying to do is get as many Asians involved in football. If you can just kind of improve that number and just keep increasing it, and then from there, similar to how black players did before, like the numbers keep increasing.
The broader the talent pool in our country, the better, because we can then really be representative of everybody in the country. We can maximise what's possible, but also everybody will feel included.
You'll find that when you're watching a sport, or say, for example, England in the Euros, everyone will be watching it. As soon as England score, you don't care what race the person is next to you, you all start celebrating together, and I think it's just great to see how much a sport can bring together a whole country and all the different races and religions and just make them all feel together and as one.
Having a manager that's in the 21st century is quite nice, and it does make the England team and the whole feeling around it, you just feel more together.
I think we are definitely a multicultural team, and the diversity on the pitch has changed enormously since I played for England. There are lots more people who can watch the team and see people that look like them playing, and I think that helps people to relate to the team.
This is Selhurst Park, home to Crystal Palace FC, Gareth's first club. When he turned pro back in the early 90s, football was a very different game. Not just a man's game, but a hard man's game.
If you can think of both teams in this bit of tunnel, side by side.
Yeah, that must have made pre-match quite tense being that close.
Well, I can remember playing in Wimbledon and Vinny actually punching me before he'd even got out of the tunnel.
Was that provoked or?
No, it was just
a hello.
It was just seeing if I was up for the game, really.
Wow.
So.
But how far has football come from being the sole domain of men? Is football still a man's game?
I feel like I'm coming out of a bloody war zone here. I love dishing it out and I can take it. They've got the worst stadium, fans with discontent, players with discontent. It's all just one big, massive mess and disaster. When it first came into my mind that I could have a career in football was when YouTube took off. Before that, I didn't think that it was a thing. As a young girl, there's absolutely no way that I'd become a footballer. I just saw it as a hobby. The only time I played in a team was in five-a-side with my friends that are all guys. To become a YouTuber, you've got to find your niche. And I felt like football was my niche. I feel like you turn around and say you're going to be a footballer as a girl, it's like, so who are you going to play for? How are you going to be able to earn the money to do that? And it didn't seem like an actual career path.
There's far less opportunity for young girls to take up sport than boys, there's no doubt about that. My daughter didn't play football, but she played netball, so I definitely have an understanding of how difficult it is. As a bloke, I've not had to look at those barriers through my life.
StuntPeg's travelled down to London to meet up with someone who hasn't let any barriers get in her way. Tyra Mills is a footballer and works closely with young women in her community.
I was impressed by what you were saying your job is in football.
Yeah, female engagement coordinator. I told the girls that they can FaceTime me anytime, and now I receive FaceTime calls at like 2 a.m. in the morning. So I engage all the females in sports and everything, see how they're doing, little catch-ups. So they range from about 14 to 18 years old.
As well as having played for Tottenham, Chelsea and England at the Homeless World Cup,
Another goal for England.
Tyra is a level 2 coach.
I wish I had a Tyra when I was 14. These girls, they build friendships, they look out for each other. Oh, that would have been so helpful to build a community that I could have been myself in. All I had was that kickabout at the park. That was it. I didn't have a team to go and play for.
Yeah, it's hard because obviously if you're a girl, it's not coming to you. It's like you have to go out your way to search it, and even when you search it, it's still hard.
Similar with rugby as well, you're essentially saying these are the girl sports, these are the boy sports.
Yeah.
From such a young age, it's like no wonder women are like, I don't want to show that I'm interested in football because I'm not actually supposed to be.
But not many people understand that football is not just a men's sport, it's a women's sport as well. And
definitely.
You can actually play too.
A lot of it is just putting it in people's minds that football isn't just a men's sport.
I had some insight of that through my daughter's sports experiences, and then working within the FA for over 7 years, I have an understanding of the battles that have gone on to get funding and to grow the game. And most of the credit for that has to go to the national team over the last 10, 15 years. People who fought those battles, you know, those girls, some of their individual stories are incredible.
Back at St George's Park, StuntPeg and Tyra get the chance to ask Gareth if he thinks enough is being done to move the women's game forward.
I see all my friends that at high school level I could play football with, and all of a sudden when you get above that age, they've got their own Sunday leagues or they'll play for the county cup, and it's just a community level, but it's just that competitiveness, the social elements of it are so good, but you don't get to be involved in it. You didn't feel very important. With the guys, they had all this competitiveness, whereas for us, there was just no opportunities there. And I would have loved that. I'd say what did sit on my mind for a while was when I got things like, for a woman, you know what you're talking about, or I didn't expect this to be a good channel because you're a girl. So as I was growing as a channel, I was starting to build a complex. I was thinking, hang on a second, is that all people say, that I am a woman first and not what I can do, my presenting ability, my football knowledge? And I almost felt like I had to really prove myself.
In West London, it's like there wasn't many female teams, so I was always playing with the boys. Female football wasn't really taken seriously, so I kind of stopped and started like getting into coaching.
Do you feel that's been more difficult for you as a female?
Because I've been coaching females, no, but if I was coaching males, yes, because I believe that I wouldn't be able to like be where I am today due to me coaching people who understand me, the qualifications I've got, and the people who taught me.
So did you find people not trusting in your advice, or did you have to win them over?
I had to win them over. I had to show them what I was able to do for them to trust me. Like, my words weren't enough. So it was hard, because if I was with another boy, their words would be enough, but my words wouldn't, and it would just be like, oh, the same person. I'm just a female, so it was kind of hard, but it didn't stop me at all.
For a lot of young girls, it's important that you know that that isn't true. And the general consensus for me is not many people are sexist, and it's just the loudest people are. But most people have a respect for women being able to talk about football.
And do you think this journey is changing for girls now?
When I was growing up, I'll admit, in my head, if Mum said, who do you want to be as a player, I'd say someone like Wayne Rooney. Whereas now, you see girls growing up and they're saying Lucy Bronze, and they're saying the female players, and what comes with that is young girls asking questions, asking, you know, how they can play the game.
A lot of females don't know who to look up to, so that's why they stopped football at the age of 16. But now we've got like the Lionesses on social media, and people going to their games, and it's just like, oh yeah, I want to be like Georgia Stanway or Kira Walsh. That's amazing that you want to be like them. Because when I used to mentor the girls that I used to coach, they'd be like, I don't want to play football when I'm older because there's no one that looks like me. And now there's girls that look like them in the system. It's just much better for them.
Developments in the women's game are huge, really, and now that you've got the support of so many of the big professional clubs having teams within the WSL, it's a realistic career opportunity for young girls, as well as the fact that they're getting treated better.
I think people take it more seriously, and the more it becomes a profession, the more then funneling down, they're going to need to find the next young talents, and they're the ones that from 5, 6 years old are at the park kicking the ball around. So, you know, they've got a real passion for the game and talent and hard work just in their bones. So you'll find those people.
We're still a long way from perfect, but there's been enormous strides over the last 5 years in terms of where the women's game is in our country.
There's still a long way to go, but it is really nice to see that there's progress being made.
That's the beautiful thing about football. It can bring all different kinds of people together, no matter who they are.
I'm blowing, I ain't even had 10 minutes rest.
We're coming to the end of our time with Gareth at St George's Park, and as the evening draws in, we're getting closer to something we're all excited about. An actual football match. Myself and SV2, alongside FC Not Alone's Ian and women's coach Tyra, are taking on Filly, StuntPegg, Wolves apprentice Cameron, and Matt from FC Not Alone. It's under the St George's lights and in front of the England manager.
Now we'll see if he can handle the pressure.
Time to bring in the crowd and commentator Clive Tildesley.
Thank you, Chris. This is a very special clash of the creator titans for the unofficial title of YouTube Originals Champions. Very special to them, that's for sure. Young Filly, who I once saw score at Old Trafford, setting the early tempo.
Nice idea.
Here's StuntPegg, looking for Matt. Oh, pick that out. It's a dream start, and even the England boss is impressed. Matt from FC Not Alone, seeing a lot of the ball. Oh, that's far too easy. Oh, it's 2-0.
Nice, Matt.
You didn't say he was good, Matt.
Gareth always says the door to his squad never closes. The Blues are 2 up. The Clarets need to find something, and quickly. Oh, Matt can't lose it there.
Good closing, Chris.
ChrisMD. Blasted through the keeper. Clarets looking more confident now. Oh, that's loose from Tyra, though. It's an invitation for young Filly to run at them. StuntPegg now, in space. Oh, the keeper was well placed.
Oh, great save. Nice hit.
Clarets are certainly pushing for an equaliser. SV2 is through here. Oh, nobody likes to see that. Ridiculous nutmeg. 2-2. This is anybody's game now. And in true five-a-side fashion, its next goal wins. SV2 all tried the Zidane turn, and StuntPegg wasn't having that. Young Filly's in the clear. He's not going to try it. Oh, he is! He's won it! Golden goal!
Oh, beautiful. That just shows class is permanent, huh?
Oh, no, we do this one, look.
The match has been a memorable end to our experience.
First game back after lockdown, literally getting out on a pitch, there's no feeling quite like it.
We literally just brought everyone together, and it's just been so nice getting out onto the pitch again. Just for your head, for your body, like, it's just, yeah, it's an incredible feeling.
Great to meet you.
You too, guys. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You too. Came up with them good today.
Thank you so much.
It really felt like he was listening to what we had to say and genuinely cared about the issue.
He told me that if there's a really, really bad injury crisis, he's gonna give me the call.
I'll be looking out. I'll be following you all. Thank you.
Good luck for you guys, yeah.
Good luck.
Honestly, good luck, mate.
Meeting Gareth, the other creators, and looking at the issues that matter has come at a time when finally it's starting to feel like football as we know it is coming back. And what better way to celebrate this than with the Euros? And maybe, just maybe, England can bring it home.
Whenever there's a major tournament with England, there's hope and expectation. Everybody wants a lift. Sport can unite people, and we're aware that if we can perform well, then that can bring positivity to our country in this time.
I'm looking forward to the Euros, man. I love international football. I love a big tournament. I don't care what international cup it is, I'm watching it.
That just brings me good energy, man. I'm gonna be happy. Going out in the sun, going to watch a football game, I love it, I can't wait.
When you're singing with the rest of the country as a whole, that was just incredible in 2018, and we've never had that before, like ever.
Those big nights always seem to be a bit of a roller coaster as well, so that's the beauty of sport, it's the beauty of major tournaments.
That's what you watch football for, that's why you love football, it's those moments with other people.
Oh my God, the atmosphere, everyone was going crazy.
When I think about a nation that had a lot of resentment for its national team, all of a sudden come together, and the unison that he'd managed to achieve was just fantastic.
I like that you play Reece, I like that you play Hudson, I like that you play Mace, Jack, and all them man there. I think everyone's my age or younger. That is incredible.
We've got some of the most exciting young players in the world.
We look so good, and it could be one of the best summers ever.
We always want our fans to be excited by watching the team. We need that togetherness and spirit that drives the team and allows it to achieve. We have that sense of pride, and we absolutely have that ambition.
As well as this film, we also made our own, so if you want to see some other great content, click on the links.
I knew it was going to be hot.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've got a choice here. I've got a light blue shirt, which is probably going to show the sweat patches.
The sweat patches,
Yeah, it'd be fine. You know, no one will be bothered about what you're wearing anyway, so...
You can see it.
I can see it in there. Yeah.
He knows I had it in my locker back in the days. I told him back in the days I was a baller.
Yeah.
Gareth Southgate's here to confirm it. Let's go, come on.
Well, the finish is top.
Oh, thank
top
you.
level.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
I don't know about the celebration.
Oh, come on!